Well, containers have a lot of advantages. You can quickly get a lockable space. We have a surplus of containers in this country. I think there's over 50 million surplus containers because we import now more than we export. So most of the containers that are left in the ports in this country come from China because we import crap from China, our goods. And so containers are available. It's a quick way to get an enclosed space. In terms of a life cycle of a container, steel is an interesting option because it's one of the most recyclable, or is the most recyclable product out there. So a container is easily moved. This is designed so these containers can be slipped right out of the superstructure, the roof structure that we're putting over it. We're not attaching anything to the containers. The containers can be pulled out, they can be moved, they can be transported, full of gear. There's also, we're trying to Off-Grid Build and other people have also have the idea of building relief housing or housing for others that where you build all the components for a house, put it inside of a shipping container. When you arrive, you have the shipping container shipped. The shipping container gets unloaded. You open up the doors, you start unloading all the components to expand the size of the shipping container, and all the parts of for the house are in the shipping container, as well as the tools that you might need to construct a simple home. And Off-Grid Build right now is working on a simple design to demonstrate that. In a northern climate, we have a pretty good winter here in New Mexico, and similar to the Northeast in terms of temperature. There are challenges around the shipping container, getting it insulated, engineering challenges as well. When you start cutting penetrations for doors and windows in the shipping containers, stacking them, protruding them, cantilevering them, making them into an interesting structure. There's a lot of modern designs out there for shipping containers. But in terms of thermal performance, I still have a lot of criticisms about how they, the energy that it takes for a builder and all the additional requirements it takes to insulate a shipping container or add mass. There's ideas, you can wrap them in straw bales, but still you got to provide a foundation for the straw bales and then plaster or sheet the straw bale somehow, big overhanging roofs. So shipping containers are a great idea maybe for moderate climates, for relief housing. There's a lot of smart people out there doing shipping container construction. I think shipping containers are always appropriate for unheated garage space, garage/workshop space. The structure we're putting up can accommodate walls in between the posts that can get insulated. Although with a shipping container, there's condensation problems, even when you're insulating the shipping container. But I think they're great in the northern climates for uninsulated workshop or utility spaces. Although, I think one shipping container with a sloped greenhouse coming off the front of it can be a great small little studio apartment that, if you keep it small, you can concentrate on the details. But as shipping container building gets more popular, the permitting process becomes easier for people in different locations. Right now, generally, a shipping container building requires an engineer's or an architect's stamp, preferably an engineer, because they know that when you start cutting into a shipping container, the structural characteristics that will change. But as more and more people start working on shipping container buildings, we find more ways that it becomes standardized when we start putting penetrations in it, and ways to attach to it, ways to shed water off of them in an efficient manner, ways to support them on footings and foundations or helical piers. Right now, Off-Grid Build is been contacted to build a sugar shack up in northern Ontario, and their initial off-grid builds, initial design concept is 2 shipping containers on helical piers, separated just like this with the evaporator in the middle. And that way, because this property is 300 acres, that's only going to be occupied 3 months out of the year when the maple syrup production, or even 2 months out of the year when the maple syrup production is happening. The rest of the year won't be occupied. So the shipping containers provide instant, lockable, secure space for long periods where it's not going to be occupied, to keep thieves and others away that may want to steal equipment. And it also provides quick place to for shelter for the people out there building the actual building. They can camp inside the shipping containers while it's being built, because it's a remote location. If the crew doesn't have campers and equipment such as that to stay in while it's being built. And it doesn't need to be a heated space. There'll be enough heat from the evaporator. Well, I think in a nutshell, shipping containers provide a unit that can be designed from. It's a given unit. You have your parameters are already set in terms of dimensions. There's flexibility in how you arrange the shipping containers, and it provides instant space, an instant unit that's easy to install. Within a couple days, you can have 4 to 10 to 20 shipping containers delivered to your site once your footings and foundations are in. And then you can have lockable space. You can work on your building over time. As an owner builder, your time may be limited, so you can always have a dedicated shipping container that's for storage of your tools, and they're available. There's just a plethora of them in this country, and it costs too much at this point to send them to the recycling. So there's a push to find an adaptive reuse for them, and housing and building space is a great application. Well, shipping containers range. An 8-foot by 20-foot container such as these, there's different classes that you can buy, different grades, grade A to grade C, and even D. But grade A is practically a new shipping container. It maybe had one trip across the ocean. Grade B might have dings and dents, and grade C might have rust and a lot of dings, dents, maybe even a hole in it. So generally people pick the grade B or grade A. And so in terms of cost, they range anywhere delivered here in Taos, New Mexico from about $3,800 down to about $2,000, depending on your location and the grade. Here is an addition that we built about a year ago for a homeowner up on the mountain outside of Taos, New Mexico. What's unique about this project is we had an existing house